Imagine a typical day in 2025 America. You wake up, grab your phone, and see a news alert. New executive order restricts travel within city limits. Confused, you try calling a friend but the line is dead. Your internet is down. You step outside, greeted by armed soldiers patrolling the streets. This, my friends, is not a scene from a dystopian movie. It's a glimpse into what life could become under soft martial law. We're not talking tanks on every corner, it's subtler, more insidious. Think restrictions on movement, communication blackouts, increased surveillance. It's the slow erosion of our freedoms, justified in the name of safety and security. And it's happening right now. Remember those executive orders I mentioned? Yeah, those aren't just about trade wars and drug prices. They represent a disturbing trend. The expansion of executive power, often bypassing Congress and the will of the people. Sure, they'll tell you it's for the greater good, but at what cost? Remember when presidents needed congressional approval for, well, almost everything? Those were the days when the legislative branch held significant sway over the direction of the country. Those days seem quaint now. The balance of power has shifted dramatically. Executive orders, once a rarely used tool, are becoming the weapon of choice for modern presidents. They bypass the lengthy legislative process and allow for swift action. Trade deals, healthcare, even social issues. All decided with a stroke of the presidential pen. The implications are vast and far-reaching. And it's not just the sheer number of these orders, it's the scope. They touch nearly every aspect of American life. Take the recent string of EOs impacting trade. These orders have reshaped international relationships and domestic markets. They've thrown the economy into chaos, all in the name of national security. The ripple effects are felt by businesses and consumers alike. Now, I'm no economist, but last time I checked, national security didn't mean bankrupting farmers and starting trade wars. The fallout is real and immediate. Then there's the EO on drug prices. Aimed at reducing costs, it has stirred significant debate. Sure, everyone wants cheaper medication, it's a universal desire. But this most favored nation thing? It's a controversial approach. It basically lets the government dictate prices to pharmaceutical companies. This could stifle innovation and lead to unintended consequences. Again, noble goal, terrifying precedent. The balance of power is shifting in ways that are hard to predict. The point is, folks, this isn't about whether these individual policies are good or bad. It's about the broader implications. It's about the erosion of checks and balances, the concentration of power in one branch of government. This shift could undermine the very foundation of our democracy, and history shows us that's a very slippery slope. We must remain vigilant to preserve the balance of power that defines our system. Remember when cops were just friendly neighborhood peace officers? Me neither. But it wasn't always SWAT teams busting down doors for unpaid parking tickets. The militarization of police has been steadily increasing for decades, fueled by a toxic cocktail of fear-mongering and government funding. And don't even get me started on surveillance. We're living in a world where our every move is tracked, analyzed, and stored. Facial recognition software, stingray devices, online monitoring, Big Brother is alive and well, and he's got a smartphone. Now connect the dots. Executive orders grant sweeping powers. Local police forces resemble paramilitary units. Our digital lives are an open book. Does anyone else feel a chill down their spine? Because this, my friends, is the perfect breeding ground for soft martial law. It starts subtly increased checkpoints, restrictions on public gatherings, warrantless searches under the guise of national security, but each infringement, each erosion of our rights paves the way for something far more sinister. Look, I get it, we all want to feel safe. But when did security become synonymous with surrendering our freedoms? When did we start accepting that the only way to prevent bad things from happening is to live in a constant state of fear and control? Here's the dirty little secret: true security doesn't come from a government with unlimited power, it comes from an empowered citizenry, informed, engaged, and willing to stand up for their rights. Because here's the thing about rights, they're not gifts from the government, they're inherent, inalienable, and once we surrender them, we rarely get them back. And once that happens, once we've traded our freedom for the illusion of safety, then the bad guys have already won. So, what can we do? Well, for starters, we can stop sleepwalking into this dystopian future. We can start by taking steps to protect ourselves, to ensure that we're prepared for whatever comes our way. Section 5. Whispers in the dark. In a world of government surveillance, keeping your conversations private might seem impossible. But fear not, dear citizens. there are ways to fight back against the prying eyes. First, ditch your regular messaging apps. They're about as secure as a sieve in a rainstorm. Instead, opt for encrypted messaging apps like Signal or Telegram. These use end-to-end encryption, meaning only you and the person you're talking to can read the messages. Not even the app developers can access your conversations. But what if the internet goes down? Well, that's where old-school methods come in handy. Pre-arranged meeting spots, code words, even dead drops. They might seem like something out of a spy movie, but hey, desperate times call for desperate measures. Remember, the key is to be discreet. Don't go blabbing about your newfound communication skills to just anyone. Keep it on a need-to-know basis, and remember, loose lips sink ships or something like that. Or Section 6, Pantry Preparedness, your 90-day safety net. Imagine this, the grocery store shelves are bare, supply chains are disrupted, and you're stuck with nothing but a half-eaten bag of stale chips. Not exactly a recipe for survival, right? In times of crisis, having a well-thought-out plan can make all the difference. That's where a well-stocked pantry comes in handy. It's your first line of defense against uncertainty. The goal here isn't to become a doomsday prepper. It's about being prepared for life's unexpected twists and turns. It's about having enough food and water on hand to weather a temporary disruption. Whether it's a natural disaster, a cyber attack, or, the government deciding to ration our Doritos. Start by gradually building up a supply of non-perishable items, canned goods, rice, beans, and other essentials. Pasta, the stuff that can survive a nuclear apocalypse or at least a power outage. These items have a long shelf life and can be used in a variety of meals. Aim for at least a 90-day supply for each member of your household. This ensures that everyone has enough to eat during an extended emergency. And don't forget about water. Hydration is crucial. You can survive weeks without food, but only a few days without water. It's essential to have a reliable water supply. Store at least 1 gallon per person per day. This will cover drinking, cooking, and basic hygiene needs. And if you're feeling extra cautious, invest in a water filtration system. This can be a lifesaver if your water supply becomes contaminated, just in case the water supply gets a little compromised. Being prepared means peace of mind, knowing you can handle whatever comes your way. Section 7, Papers, Please. Documents for uncertain times. Remember those dystopian novels where everyone's constantly being asked for their papers? Yeah, that's not so far-fetched in a world of checkpoints and increased security measures. That's why it's crucial to keep your important documents safe and readily accessible. This includes your driver's license, passport, birth certificate, social security card. Basically anything that proves you are who you say you are. Make copies of everything and store them in a secure, waterproof location. And hey, maybe laminate them for good measure. It's also wise to have some cash on hand. If the power goes out, ATMs and credit card machines become about as useful as a chocolate teapot. Having a stash of small bills can be a lifesaver in an emergency situation. Remember, knowledge is power, and in this case, knowledge includes having your paperwork in order. It might seem like a small thing, but it could make all the difference in a world where freedom of movement is no longer guaranteed. Section 8. Navigating the backroads of freedom. In a world of constant surveillance, knowing your way around could be more than just a cool party trick. It could be essential for avoiding checkpoints, roadblocks, or other unforeseen circumstances. Start by familiarizing yourself with alternative routes to and from your home, workplace, and other frequently visited locations. Think back roads, side streets, even bike paths. The goal is to have options, to avoid becoming reliant on main thoroughfares that could easily be shut down. And while you're at it, dust off that old paper map. I know, Google Maps is amazing. But what happens when the internet's down or your phone battery dies? A good old-fashioned map can be a lifesaver, literally. Remember, knowledge is power. And in this case, knowledge of your surroundings could be the key to maintaining your freedom of movement. So, get out there, explore your neighborhood, and become a master of your own personal map. Section 9. Fortress Home, Security when the lights go out. Imagine this. The power grid goes down, plunging your neighborhood into darkness. It's a scenario that can happen unexpectedly, leaving you and your family vulnerable. Suddenly, that cozy little home of yours doesn't feel so safe anymore, does it? The familiar comfort of your surroundings is replaced by uncertainty and fear. That's why it's crucial to think about home security, especially during a grid-down scenario. Being proactive can make all the difference in ensuring your safety. Start with the basics. Strong locks on all doors and windows. These are your first line of defense against any potential intruders. A security system, preferably one with a battery backup, and adequate outdoor lighting are also essential. These measures can deter would-be intruders and alert you to any suspicious activity. And don't forget about those potential weak points. Garages, which can often be an easy target for break-ins. Sheds and crawl spaces should also be secured. These areas are often overlooked but can be exploited by intruders. Next, think about how you'd defend yourself if someone did try to break in. Having a plan in place can give you the confidence to act quickly and effectively. Now, I'm not advocating for turning your home into a fortress of doom. It's about finding a balance between security and comfort. But having a plan, whether it's a safe room, a self-defense course, or even just knowing your escape routes, can make all the difference. Or even just a really loud dog can make all the difference. Dogs can be a great deterrent and provide an early warning system. Remember, the goal here isn't to become paranoid, it's to be prepared. Preparation can help you stay calm and collected in the face of unexpected events. By taking some basic steps to secure your home, you can have peace of mind knowing that you're ready for whatever the world throws your way. Your home should be a sanctuary, even when the lights go out.